I hope I ain't say nothing on no podcast that could get me into trouble. Like, what's up, writers and ramblers? I'm Skylar the Writer, and welcome back to Write and Ramble, a YouTube channel all about film, television, and the entertainment industry, but from a writer's perspective. Today I want to talk with you guys about some Hollywood news, or I guess you could say it is more like New York news. Comedian Shane Gillis has been tapped to be the February 10th host of the SNL episode. It's going to also feature 21 Savage as a musical guest, and it's a little controversial, to say the least, mainly because Shane Gillis is the same comedian who was hired in 2019 to be part of the cast, but was fired just days after his initial announcement, after some pretty horrible, I guess, so-called jokes had surfaced from some podcasts. The jokes in particular, a lot of them were anti-Asian. He had homophobic jokes, slurs, like flat out just anti-Asian slurs, and just a whole bunch of just awful stuff, right? And the great irony of that time was this was in the same announcement that SNL was announcing that Bowen Yang was going to be part of that same cast, and he was SNL's first, I believe he was either the first Asian or first East Asian, one of the two, but one of the first Asian to be on the show. And again, SNL's been on the air for like, I don't know, 30-40 years, so it was kind of a weird situation having your first Asian or East Asian cast member being on the stage next to a white dude who, or really if it was anybody, who was making anti-Asian and homophobic jokes, because Bowen Yang is also gay. He's part of the LGBT community, out and proud gay Asian man. So needless to say, it made sense that SNL had to let him go once all that old stuff had surfaced.
Do you think that you would have fired you?
No. But under the rules, today's rules, yeah, you have to.
Right.
Those are the rules. But if you want to, you know what I mean? That's what I've always tried to say. Like, I don't argue me getting fired.
Right.
Those are today's rules. If you want to talk about, like, I would have to argue, like, we need to change the rules.
Right.
However, in the ensuing years, Bowen Yang has gone on to be a very well-beloved member of the cast. He has a lot of like great iconic bits. Y'all might remember, like, one of my personal faves was when he was the iceberg on the iceberg that sank the Titanic.
Wow. Okay, fine. You want to do this? Let's do this. First of all, you came to where I live and you hit me.
Now Shane Gillis randomly is going to be back on the February 10th episode as the host. Now, one of the things that I was kind of wondering, I was like, has Shane Gillis done anything to be, to warrant hosting SNL, even if you don't count the drama from his so-called jokes? And to his credit, Shane Gillis, he I guess self-released his own stand-up special to YouTube. He did that back in 2021. And if I'm not mistaken, it's received over 23 million views. He also landed a Netflix special called Beautiful Dogs. That one came out last September. And in recent days, fairly recently, Bud Light actually announced that they're gonna be a paid sponsor for his upcoming stand-up comedy tour. So he's made some moves. Now, whether or not he's made moves to warrant him hosting SNL is a different story, in my opinion. And it kind of says a lot. If we're gonna be frank, it says a lot about how white men get to fail up all the time.
I said what I said.
and how the standards are definitely lowered, because you guys might remember that the previous episode was hosted by Ayo Edebiri. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing her name, but she got to host SNL after just days after she won the Emmy for, I believe it was Best Supporting Actress at the Emmys for her role on The Bear. Whether The Bear counts as comedy, but I'm not going to get into that. But she had to win a freaking Emmy and make history in order for her to become a host on SNL, right? So yeah, she had to, just like so many black people have to do so much to get so much farther just to get the same thing, the same hosting opportunity as a dude with who put a special up on YouTube, which is still great, right? Like, it's still huge. And I'm not trying to say that to discount anything, because Shane has definitely done the work. But when you compare making history as an Emmy winner on a hit TV show that everybody is talking about and everybody knows about, versus you have a comedy special online and you just got a comedy special on YouTube, or excuse me, on Netflix. There's a lot of comedy specials on Netflix, a lot of comedians on Netflix, and they're not getting hosting opportunities for SNL. And they don't come with the baggage of telling racist, homophobic jokes with racist slurs. Like, that's the thing you have to keep in mind, is this wasn't just jokes that were just too far. He was actually using racist slurs on air on podcasts. But he somehow gets a second chance. And it just sort of makes me wonder, some folks, y'all might say this is woke, whatever, I don't care. If you say that, you don't know what woke, even the real meaning of woke, but that's a whole other conversation as well. But like, imagine to somebody black that did this, right? And you got fired before you even started the show. Or, or you're a woman of any background, right? Or you're Latino, you're Arab, anything like that. Would any of us have gotten the same opportunity that Shane Gillis is getting after, losing out on the initial opportunity the way in which he did? It just sort of makes you wonder, makes you think, right? It's also sort of makes you wonder what's going on over there at SNL. Because lately, I don't know if there's like this conservative thing where they're trying to reach out to conservatives or not, but you may remember from Ayo's episode of, I think it was back on February 4th, I believe was her episode, February 3rd. Nikki Haley, who's currently running against Donald Trump for the Republican nomination for the presidential election, was in the SNL opener, and I guess like they were trying to riff on when she was asked what was the cause of the Civil War, and she just like flat out basically refused to say slavery, admit it was slavery, which, like, come on guys, like, we already know that that's what it is. They made a joke on that where she admitted that the Civil War was about slavery, and it was just a weird thing because she was trying to make up for it, and it's just sort of makes you wonder, like, who was doing the casting out there at SNL, because it's like, what is this? What's going on with this? But it is what it is. So yeah, what do you guys think about Shane Gillis going to host the SNL, or the SNL going to host SNL on the February 10th show? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think, hey, everybody deserves a second chance? I mean, me personally, I believe strongly in second chances, but this is a weird situation. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. What else is there, y'all? I be forgetting stuff. It's share, like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, we talked about comment. So do all of that. Make sure to share the Writing and Ramble YouTube channel with all your friends and writers and stuff. And yeah, y'all, peace, and until next time. But also, speaking of podcasts, y'all know how Ayo got like busted because she had made those jokes about J-Lo and her career being a scam, which I'm not gonna give my 2 cents, but I'm also not gonna say she was, if she was right or wrong or right. But I do think it's really interesting when y'all be on these podcasts. Be careful what you say, because apparently podcast is just like another version of the internet, and it's there forever until someone takes it down. And even then, the internet is forever, right? What you say on a podcast or any show, whatever, could come back to bite you. Shoot, like, I hope I ain't say nothing on no podcast that could get me into trouble. Like, oh snap, I gotta go and look up some things. Anyway, all right, peace out, writers and ramblers. And yeah, be careful what you say on these podcasts, because you never know when it might come back to bite. What did Monique say?
See, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite.
Anyway, peace out.